From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, December 4th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
I would say that based upon the feedback that we're receiving, it is a critical need.
Increasing COVID rates are taking a toll on Indiana schools, and this morning, the growing call for substitute teachers as schools deal with a shortage of staff.
It's a major difference in how we can budget for the future growth into 2021 and beyond.
Small businesses are worried about their future as the new year could bring a significant tax increase for them amid the pandemic. Their message to Congress.
If you are interested in and passionate about tech and problem solving and puzzles, that sort of thing, then you'll probably resonate really well with what we teach in 90 days.
A local company is providing training in a stable and easily accessible field. This morning, we show you how 1150 Academy is opening up opportunities and transforming people's lives.
Happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin in for Rafael Sanchez this morning.
It's great to have you with us here, Nicole. Thanks for helping us out. And Todd Clausen is off, so we have Kyle Mounts in today. Kyle, it's great to see you as well. You know what, Kyle, I was outside yesterday and it was pretty cold out there, and I decided that toddlers, they don't get cold because Archie, he wanted to do sidewalk chalk. He wanted to play with his water table.
Oh, the water table.
I was like, it's too cold for that. And to me, it's cold outside. But what do you say for people heading out the door this morning?
Yeah, I say it's cold outside. You're going to need that coat and stay away from the water and the water table. That's some good advice there today. We've got temperatures that are right around the freezing mark. A little colder, though, in Bloomington at 25 degrees as we have clear skies, winds that are under 10 miles per hour for you out of the southwest this morning. Your temperature coming in at 27 in Greencastle, 34 though in the Crawfordsville area, and Richmond also in the 20s this morning at 28. Satellite and radar, we have cleared out those skies pretty well, so we'll see a lot of sunshine here once it comes up, and we'll enjoy that throughout the day. Our temperature will recover and make its way into the middle and upper 40s, calling for a high around 47 degrees, just a touch above average for this time of year. And then tonight, with partly cloudy skies, we're back into the 20s. That sets us up for a cooler weekend we'll talk about in just a few minutes, but Lauren is keeping an eye on your Friday morning commute.
That's right, Kyle. Let's take a look right now to the southeast. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-74. Look here near Post Road. You can see traffic in that spot is traveling smoothly this morning, and a quick look around the metro area. No crashes to slow you down. Great news if you're heading out to work early this morning. Another record of a high report of new COVID-19 cases across the Hoosier state. State health officials reporting more than 8,500 cases between November 13th and Wednesday. To date, 359,430 people have tested positive for the virus. And this morning, the state's 7-day positivity rate is now at 11.4%. State health officials also report an additional 60 Hoosier-related COVID-related deaths. Since March, 5,748 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19.
As coronavirus deaths continue to rise, according to Johns Hopkins, at least 2,879 Americans died from the virus just yesterday alone. With cases and hospitalizations also on the rise, President-elect Joe Biden says the coronavirus pandemic is dominating his transition into the White House. Biden is promising a different approach once he takes office. Speaking to CNN, he says once he's inaugurated, he will call on Americans to help slow the spread of COVID-19.
I'm going to ask the public for 100 days to mask. Just 100 days to mask. Not forever, 100 days. And I think we'll see a significant reduction.
Biden also says he plans to keep Dr. Fauci on board as chief medical advisor and part of his COVID team. When it comes to a vaccine, Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris say they will get one once it is approved and deemed safe, and they want frontline workers like doctors and nurses to get vaccines as well. Those skyrocketing COVID rates are impacting central Indiana schools, and this morning our Kelsey Anderson joins us live to show you why a shortage of teachers and support staff could be the deciding factor when it comes to virtual or in-person learning. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nicole. So I'm sure we all either know a teacher, kids who are in school right now, or parents of kids who are in school right now who are just wanting to get back in the classroom, get back to that normal everyday routine. But like you just said, COVID-19 might not be the only reason that these kids are virtual right now. Some schools saying they're having a shortage of staff, and that's why they can't have kids actually in the building. So we talked to Charlene Little, and she says she has 2 kids here at North Central High School, and they've spent most of their school year at home. And she says they're doing okay, but 6 hours a day on Zoom calls is not holding their attention. At North Central, students were initially removed from the classrooms to stop the spread of COVID-19, but now the pandemic is impacting school staffing. Matt Kaiser is the Director of Human Resources for Washington Township Schools, and he says there have been days this year when they were strapped for teachers, and without enough substitutes, they had to pull administrators out of their offices and into the classroom.
Pre-COVID, days would typically be into an 80 to an 85% fill rate. And during this time period, we have seen those numbers dip into 40 to 45%. So we often will have multiple positions in buildings that are not covered.
Now, that staffing battle is not unique to Washington Township schools. It's happening all over the state, and it's an issue that districts are dealing with. So even schools that are operating completely virtual, they're still in need of those subs and those assistants to get things going and making sure that everything is operating smoothly. So if you are interested in either being a substitute teacher, a substitute bus driver, a substitute custodian, you can head over to those schools district pages, or you can go to mykellyjobs.com, and that's where you can find job postings for at least 30 schools around the Indianapolis area. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. The time right now is 6:07 on your Friday. There is an uptick in the number of Hoosiers filing for first-time unemployment benefits. Let's take a look at those latest numbers. During the week ending November 28th, the Department of Labor says just over 23,000 people in Indiana filed for first-time unemployment claims. The week before that, 18,829 Hoosiers filed for unemployment for the first time. Across the country, 712,000 new unemployment claims were filed the week of Thanksgiving. More than 288,000 workers filed for benefits under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which gives aids for workers like the self-employed and contractors. The continued jobless claim stood at 5.5 million. That's down from 6.1 million in the previous week.
Some distilleries say they are at risk of shutting down if Congress does not extend existing tax breaks. Last year, Congress passed a 1-year extension of the Craft Beverage Modernization and Tax Reform Act to allow businesses to expand. Now, if the federal excise tax doesn't get extended by December 31st, distilleries could see a 400% tax increase next year. The owner of Hotel Tango Distillery in Fountain Square, Travis Barnes, says this disproportionately impacts craft distilling because of the threshold of taxation.
At 100,000 gallons is really where the first break would occur. So Jim Beam and Jack Daniels make that in the first 2 days of the year, where we would not even come close to that for next year. So that's the big difference on who it really impacts. It's the small guys, not the big guys.
Local distilleries are urging people to contact our Indiana senators to extend the excise tax.
Hiring Hoosiers is WRTV's initiative to connect you to jobs. Recently, Pattern was awarded $50,000 from the United Way's Social Innovation Fund. So with that money, they plan to host a certified training program with Stitchworks. The training curriculum will fulfill the need for workers in the industrial sewing industry that's been proved to be vital in this pandemic. They want to emphasize their recruitment to poverty-vulnerable individuals, recent immigrants, and recent high school graduates. Polina Oshrov is the executive director of Pattern and says they plan to hire some of the trainees.
We would like to employ some of these people ourselves, just because as a production facility, we're being contacted on a regular basis by a variety of different companies, from companies that make bed sheets to ironing board covers to solopreneurs who want to launch a collection or like make hoodies and everything in between.
Applications for the new training program are not open just yet, but Oshrov says they plan to have them posted in the next month. They're looking for monetary donations as well, and donations of industrial sewing machines. Their goal is to help 200 Hoosiers find jobs in the next 5 years.
A food drive is coming to a bus stop near you. Indigo is asking for donations on December 15th. Riders who contribute a canned good or non-perishable food item as they board on that day will receive a free one-way ride. Donations will be given to the Midwest Food Bank. This offer applies to any fixed route or open door bus services. If you do not ride the bus that day but would still like to donate, you can do so from 8 to 6 at the Carson Transit Center.
A local tech company is providing training in a stable and easily accessible field. Up next, how 1150 Academy is opening up opportunities and transforming lives.
IndyCar and IMS announced a major change that could help create more diversity in open wheel racing. Coming up, details on the new team and their big aspirations. Kyle.
And it is 6:11 here on your Friday morning as kids get ready to head out there to the bus stop this morning. Temperatures around 30 degrees will greet them, so certainly going to need that heavier winter coat. This afternoon, some sunshine will feel nice as temperatures make their way into the middle 40s, but a little bit cooler for the upcoming weekend. We'll talk about any chances for well weather to go along with it. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:14. An Indianapolis nonprofit coding academy had to find new ways to function when this pandemic hit. COVID-19 forced 1150 Academy to close its physical doors and take their lessons online.
While many Hoosiers are facing unemployment and job changes, Amanda Sorrentino shows us how a career in coding and technology remains stable and easily accessible.
I definitely feared for my job, just like anybody else would in the middle of a pandemic.
That has been the reality for millions of people this year, many being forced into unemployment and others who choose a more stable career path. 23-year-old Severa Cox was working as a general manager at a national fast food chain. In June, she tried something new by taking a software development course at 1150 Academy.
I decided to make the leap into the tech industry because I was looking for a better work-life balance and more opportunity for growth. I actually surprised myself, mainly because a lot of the skills were transferable. Skills like communication, networking, hospitality skills, and of course, good old-fashioned teamwork was great in the environment.
She graduated from the academy in September, immediately became a learning assistant, and then quickly landed a job as a software engineer. 1150 Academy teaches software development, cybersecurity, web development, user experience, and will be teaching data science and artificial intelligence.
By switching careers and getting into software and web development and cybersecurity, they are able to literally double their compensation, not just for a job, but for a career. And what we find is that people find a high level of satisfaction in these careers.
1150 switched to a virtual platform for health and safety and delivered second monitors to all of their students so they could still have an immersive experience in their courses. And with unemployment rates surging, this is a small commitment for something that can lead you onto a stable career path, no matter your background.
90 days, we can literally bring you from wherever you are as a bartender or wait staff or truck driver, or whatever you are, and bring you, if you are interested in and passionate about tech and problem solving and puzzles, that sort of thing, then you'll probably resonate really well with what we teach in 90 days. Our average starting salary is in the high 50s, and after the first year, people are getting and second year 20% raises. So many of our people that are out 2 or 3 years are in the 80s, 90s, even 6 digits, and that is transformational for people's lives. That's why we are about this. Transform people's lives. Give them more opportunities.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Amanda Starrentino, WRTV News.
Amanda, thank you. 1150 offers intro classes every other week to allow you to try it out before committing for 12 weeks. Hoosier veterans are also encouraged to try 1150 Academy. The company partnered with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation and its Hiring Our Heroes campaign to offer fully paid schooling for veterans with the GI Bill. At 6:17 now, let's get a check of your forecast with Kyle.
And good morning to you, Nicole. We've got temperatures right around 32 degrees across central Indiana, a little below that in Indianapolis right now at 30 even. You got 36 in Muncie and 34 degrees for you this morning in Shelbyville. Winds, they're fairly light. They're under 10 miles per hour, but it does add a little extra chill to the air out there this morning. Feels like 23 downtown, feels like 29 for you in Lafayette, and 27 the wind chill right now in the Richmond area. But we don't have any precipitation that comes with that chill. You can see all the rain down across portions of Kentucky and Tennessee. And as this system slides by to our south and east today, that sets us up for a quiet stretch of weather through at least the next 7 days of our forecast. And today we will see quite a bit of sunshine as well. Temperatures right around 32 degrees for you at 9 a.m. We'll get to 40 at 11. So at noon for your lunch hours, you're out and about. We'll have temperatures in the lower 40s with a mix of sun and clouds out there. And we'll kind of carry that theme through the afternoon. But I think more sunshine than cloud cover with temperatures that make their way into the middle 40s. A little above average for this time of year. 43 the average high. Call for a high of 47 in Indy. Columbus actually a shot at 50 degrees this afternoon and 46 in the Richmond area. Tonight, it gets a little bit cooler out there, a little colder, I guess you could say. 25 in the Bloomington area, and we'll find area temperatures in the upper to middle 20s as we start off the weekend. The Saturday forecast, again, I think we'll have quite a bit of sunshine out there. Those temperatures that will make their way to 38 degrees at noon, but then we kind of stall a little bit here. We've got a number of only about 42 at 2 o'clock because we're going to have a cold front that moves through the area later this evening and tonight. That brings an increase in some clouds temporarily, but also kind of a reinforcing shot of some cooler air here for the upcoming weekend. And as we look at our Sunday forecast, those highs are only going to be around 40 degrees or so. 41 in Danville and Rushville, 43 your high temperature in the Columbus area. 7-day planning forecast as we put it all together here, and we've got those temperatures that will drop down from 47 today to 42 on Saturday afternoon and right around 40 degrees on Sunday and Monday. So temperatures that will go from a little above average to slightly below, but no Arctic outbreaks of air, and certainly that can happen this time of year, but all that real cold stuff is locked up across Canada. We will actually start to see temperatures warming up a little bit as we go through next week. We're in the upper 40s by Wednesday and 50 degrees on Thursday, all with dry weather. Lauren has a check of your Finally Friday morning commute.
All right, Kyle, here's a look right now at I-70 near Ronald Reagan Parkway and Ameriplex Parkways out near the Indianapolis International Airport where things are quiet this morning. So if you're heading out to catch a flight or picking someone up, dropping them off at the airport this morning, shouldn't have any problems. As you can see, the roads are clear. Nicole?
IndyCar wants open wheel racing to be more diverse, and it's helping take steps to make that happen. Thursday, African-American business leader and former team manager Rod Reed announced the formation of Force Indy. That's a race team set to compete in the 2021 USF 2000 Championship. That series is a pipeline for future stars of open wheel racing. Some reach the IndyCar series. Reed brings an expanded relationship with NXG Youth Motorsports, which has introduced thousands of students from underrepresented communities to open wheel racing.
We always dreamed of having a black enterprise that would be oriented towards people of color. And, you know, I want to be clear, this is not the first time that we've had black ownership in cars or teams. But I think this is one of the first times that we will be able to do something that's sustainable.
Team Penske will mentor the new Force Indy team. IndyCar in Indianapolis Motor Speedway says this is part of their Race for Equity and Change initiative.
Well, many college students are back home with mom and dad after COVID-19 cut their semesters short. What do you do, though, if you're still getting charged on-campus fees? Our John Matarese says what you need to know coming up so you don't waste your money.
Well, you know her for playing the first female vice president on Veep. So what advice does comedic powerhouse Julia Louis-Dreyfus have for our very real Vice President-elect Kamala Harris? The answer is coming up later this morning on Good Morning America.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24 on our Friday. Nicole, this is the time where we chat about what is trending at 6. So Walmart is launching a holiday light show across the U.S. The free and contactless experience will use nearly 1,000 Intel drones to create three-dimensional shapes in the sky like snowflakes, reindeer, and presents. The soundtrack of classic and modern holiday favorites will accompany this visual presentation. It's only in select cities, but if you can watch it live on Walmart's Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok channels on Saturday. You know, I should have known Walmart had a TikTok, but I'm just realizing Walmart has TikTok.
I don't even have TikTok.
I know. We're losers.
All right. Well, Lauren, I know you love your Christmas tree, but take a look at this. An Australian woman came home to find a koala hanging on her tree like an ornament. I'd be upset a little bit, messing it up, but kind of cute. She called a rescue organization to help her remove the misplaced marsupial, but when they answered the call, they thought it was a prank. Eventually, the organization arrived and was able to safely remove the female koala from the Christmas tree. Also, how did it get inside?
I don't know. He's like, this is a little weird, and there's a lot of stuff on this tree, but it'll do. Well, dog lovers were not in love with traditional dog names like Fido and Spot this year. The website rover.com released its list of 2020's top names for dogs. The site notes that many of the popular monikers are also the list of top baby names, which makes sense. I guess, people's pets are their kids.
True.
So, for instance, the top 3 female names for dogs were Bella, Luna, and Lucy, and they're also top baby names. When it comes to males, the top canine picks were Max, Charlie, and Cooper. Celebrity names were also a big draw in 2020. Kanye and Tom Brady trended up this year, but usually the popular Beyonce trended down. So I don't know, Kyle, Callie, what she thinks about that.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about pop culture and dogs.
I know. Dogs are your kids, I guess.
But yeah, a friend of mine, his newborn niece named Bella. So there you go. Made the list, made the top
dog
of the cut.
list.
Well, we said it was top baby names too, right?
Yes, that's true.
That's what I was going for. All right. Temperatures out there this morning around 30 degrees, a little warmer to the south, but this weekend we'll have the cooler temperatures coming our way. So as you go out this weekend, you will still need the sunglasses because we'll see some dry weather, lots of sunshine out there, but that coat will certainly come in handy. Maybe the hat and gloves if you're going to be out there pretty early in the morning, as we'll have temperatures that dip down into the 20s to start off our Saturday. 42 for the afternoon high, and then Sunday looking pretty good, a little below average though. We'll have partly sunny skies and temperatures that top out right around 40 degrees. Lauren?
Kyle, thank you. Well, many college students are now back at home as their schools cut their fall semesters short in person, but they're still being hit with all sorts of campus fees. So is that fair? Consumer reporter John Matarese shares one family's story so you don't waste your money.
With millions of college students now home for an extended winter break, many are now asking why they had to pay campus fees for a full fall semester they never had. Bonnie Greco's daughter was looking forward to freshman year at the University of Tennessee, but instead of living in a college dorm,
she's doing her online classes from home.
In the neighborhood she grew up in, but Mom Bonnie says they've been forced to pay campus fees.
We've got a facility fee, there's a transportation fee.
Totaling several $100s.
So has she been to the campus?
No, she's never been on campus. We visited campus a year ago, I want to say.
More and more parents are making the same complaint this fall, saying, why do we have to pay campus life and transportation fees when our child's campus is mom and dad's home? Last month, David Utz complained to me that his college student son was charged campus fees while learning at home.
They're charging them a mandatory recreation fee and to get a parking pass.
Some parents are hiring lawyers. Boston College and the University of San Diego are facing lawsuits over remote learning charges. Some colleges, though, are cutting fees. Miami University did not charge campus fees the 6-week school was delayed. But Tennessee tells us it's keeping the fee structure to support new investments needed due to the pandemic, offset cost increases, and keep charges lower for all students.
Basically, their answer is these are the fees and this is what, every student pays.
Many colleges are struggling financially due to the pandemic and say if they have to give students an additional break, that'll hurt them even more. So always don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Friday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. A standoff continues at this hour in Clay County. The situation started around 10:30 Thursday morning when police tried to serve a warrant at the Best Western just south of Interstate 70. Police say the man pointed a handgun at officers, and several hours later he released 2 hostages. The hotel staff and guests were evacuated. We'll let you know when this situation ends.
This morning, a Michigan woman facing charges for putting her child in danger while driving in Miami County. State troopers clocked her Nissan driving 116 miles per hour along US 31. The woman's 1-year-old daughter was sitting unrestrained in the front seat of the vehicle. This morning, the woman faces a number of charges, including endangerment of a dependent and reckless driving at an unreasonable speed.
I got a victim right here. I need a stick right here. Here we got a victim coming out top 4 AB corner.
A 74-year-old man is fighting for his life after firefighters rescued him from a burning apartment on the west side of Indianapolis. Crews were called to North Traub Avenue near Washington and Belmont around 3:30 Thursday afternoon. And as you just heard, firefighters found the man unconscious in an upstairs unit. The fire damaged 6 apartments, leaving 6 other people with no place to stay. IFD says 10 other people were reportedly living in one unit without permission. The fire started in that unit.
Students at Avon High School are returning to class in person this morning. That school originally went virtual 2 weeks ago after a high number of staff and student quarantines. According to the state health department, the new numbers, the high school had 76 total student cases of COVID-19.
The first doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine have arrived in the UK. Both Pfizer and the Prime Minister have declined to comment, citing potential security concerns. The UK Department of Health says 800,000 doses of the vaccine are being made available as early as next week. The health ministry says the vaccine will be distributed to 50 hospital hubs over the next week. The UK is the first Western country to authorize the use of a COVID-19 vaccine. It is 6:31 here on your Friday morning. Thanks so much for joining us for Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin in for Rafael Sanchez.
Nicole, great to see you this morning, and Kyle Mounts is in with us to talk temperatures right now. Kyle, how's it looking out there this Friday?
Yeah, things are a little better than when everybody was heading out the door yesterday morning. We've got temperatures that are starting off in the 30s and some 20s out there, but they're running about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. So that puts us at an even 30 degrees in downtown, 33 for you in Lafayette, and 25 in Bloomington. Winds are fairly calm, but enough out there that it does knock off a couple degrees for the temperature and gives us some cooler wind chills to start off the day. Satellite and radar shows that we've got a storm system not too far away, but we are expecting this to stay off to our south and east today, and actually quite a bit of clearing that is taking shape across central Indiana. So we will enjoy quite a bit of sunshine today. Yesterday, we had that deck of clouds that moved through the first half of the day. I think we'll see the opposite today with sunny skies. Our temperatures will go from 29 at 8 to 43 at noon, and afternoon numbers that will make their way into the middle and upper 40s. Lauren, how are things out there on the roads this Friday?
Oh, things are looking pretty good, Kyle. Let's take a look out there right now. This is I-69 up at State Road 37. So good morning to you in Hamilton County. Things look to be traveling just fine, both northbound and southbound through your part of town. And taking a look around the metro area right now, I'm not monitoring any crashes for your Friday morning commute, but of course I'll keep you updated. Nicole?
5G towers are popping up in neighborhoods across Indiana, and residents say it often happens without notice. After several stories on the issue from WRTV investigates, a state senator is drafting legislation to change that. We found homeowners associations, and even cities are very limited in what they can do when it comes to where 5G towers are placed. That's in part because of Senate Bill 213. Passed by the state legislature in 2017, the bill authorized a massive rollout of small cell wireless structures all over Indiana. Senator J.D. Ford says lawmakers need to re-examine the legislation.
Give some power back to the residents. They feel really kind of helpless at this point. And so, my bill that I'll be filing in January will allow, neighborhood associations, homeowner associations, or even just a resident the ability to have more notification, to have more say.
Ford's legislation would also improve the notification process. He says some homeowners don't find out until their own yard is being ripped up. The senator also wants to add more markings to the structures themselves so people know they are for 5G technology. Many of them have stickers, but they are often high up.
At 6:34, a 53-year-old man facing charges after reportedly stealing cremated remains from his ex-girlfriend's apartment. Police say that the urns containing the remains were stolen from the woman's apartment in Anderson back on October 9th. Earlier that day, police were called to the woman's apartment when the tires on her car were slashed. After the urns were stolen, the woman says she received a threatening message saying that the remains would be flushed.
This morning, police say a man has died after a shooting on the southeast side of Indianapolis. Metro Police found the victim just before 9 Thursday night on Harlan Street near East Minnesota Street. Investigators say the shooting may have happened on South State Avenue. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but later died. Police haven't released any information on a suspect. A man is now charged with the murder of former IU football player and businessman Chris Beatty. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office says Marcus Anderson faces numerous charges in the shooting death of Beatty. Beatty was shot on May 30th near his apartment building downtown. It happened during unrest following protests over the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Anderson had already been charged with a downtown robbery.
A central Indiana family is improving the life of their loved one. This morning, the drastic steps they're taking to make sure his life is one worth living in this pandemic.
And the pandemic and a rising homicide rate is having an impact on the coroner's office. This morning, the special request during this grim time in our history. It is 6:35. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The pandemic is forcing many families to make some difficult decisions to help and support their loved ones. And we spoke to one of those families. Tim Hession's children took him out of assisted living and moved him into his own apartment. Sarah Gardner says COVID-19 restrictions prevented her family from spending time with their dad for far too long. She says the seclusion took an obvious toll on him, and now Gardner and the family members are caring for him with the help of at-home caregivers. She's grateful that they have a large family to help make this happen for her father.
Nobody can force you to eat or drink or take your meds. And that was my biggest concern. I said, he's going to give up the will to live, because why would you want to do that another day?
Well, since moving out of the facility, Gardner has already seen positive progress with her dad's health and mood.
Continuing our coronavirus coverage now with a look at the latest numbers from health officials. This morning, state health officials report more than 8,500 new cases. Since the pandemic began, nearly 360,000 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus. Health officials also report 60 more people have died with the virus. Since March, more than 5,700 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus.
And this morning, Marion County Coroner's Office is sounding an alarm about what they're facing as COVID-19 continues to spread. Last month, Deputy Coroner Alfie McGinty told the Indianapolis City County Council that 2020 has been a torturous year for the office. The department has been dealing with a record number of homicides, an increase in suicides and deaths from the virus. McGinty tells WRTV that the coroner's office has dealt with nearly 500 additional cases so far in 2020 compared to this time last year. As COVID deaths and deaths increase, their staff is on the front lines.
Our risk is more significant because we know that more people are testing positive, and because we have to go into residences where people don't know and haven't been tested, or maybe people in the residence have had symptoms. Our staff is still more exposed.
Well, the coroner's office has requested additional funding for the rest of the year. That extra funding would pay for more PPE for employees who handle the possible COVID deaths. Last month, the City County Council Committee voted in favor of the funding request. A final vote will take place on Monday.
New this morning, a federal judge has dismissed criminal charges in the 2018 Missouri duck boat accident. They left 17 people dead, including 9 members of an Indianapolis family. The boat's captain and 2 men who ran the company were charged with criminal negligence. Prosecutors argued that they should have known the weather would be too dangerous to navigate. Thursday, the judge ruled that the federal government does not have jurisdiction over the lake. Prosecutors can still appeal the decision. Ripley Entertainment, which owned the former World War II vehicle, has settled 31 lawsuits related to the sinking. Still ahead, the pandemic is having an impact on the education of children across the state. The difficulties it is creating for local school districts in need of substitute teachers. Kyle.
And it is 6:41 here on your Friday morning. Today we're going to see quite a bit of sunshine. Our temperatures making their way well into the 40s, about 47 degrees. It will be a little bit colder tonight as we dip down into the 20s with a few clouds around. We'll talk about the cooler weekend coming our way. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:44. Here's a live look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Friday morning. This is a look on the east side. Our INDOT traffic camera along I-70 and Sherman Drive. You can see traffic there is moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. We're not monitoring any slowdowns at this hour for your morning commute. Nicole?
Well, as more students switch to virtual learning, local organizations are teaming up to make sure families have all the supplies they need while at home. They're putting together more than 15,000 homework kits. The kits are stuffed with pencils, crayons, folders, and other basic items you'll find in the classroom. Organizers and parents say the kits will make a difference both financially and mentally.
It really is important to be able to stay focused on the teacher and in the learning. So if the teacher is teaching, you're able to find that pencil real quick and get started on whatever the assignment is. And so I think, to me, it's like not doing a ton to go above and beyond, but just making sure that we have the basic needs met.
I just hope that these things will kind of give them a little bit of hope and help them maybe feel a little bit closer to their classmates and friends, kind of help parents not feel as stretched, just financially, mentally, everything.
The kits will be distributed at several locations across Indianapolis, including the Mind Trust Community Learning Centers. Teachers can also pick them up and deliver them to their students. Organizers are looking for volunteers to help assemble the kits. For more information, download the WRTV News app and click on this story.
It is 6:45. Skyrocketing COVID rates are impacting central Indiana schools now more than ever. One of the big components is how the virus is impacting our teachers. Our own Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with how some schools are being forced online despite the low number of student coronavirus cases. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So, all of us are ready to get back to normal, but I feel like no one's ready to get back to normal more than students, teachers, and especially parents who have got kids learning from home virtually. And so we know that, a lot of these schools, they went virtual because of COVID-19, but now some of them are going virtual because they just don't have the staffing to have kids in the classroom in person. So at North Central, students were initially removed from classrooms to stop the spread of COVID-19, but now the pandemic is impacting school staffing. Brad Beckner is with Kelly Services, a company 30 Indiana school districts use to find substitute teachers. He says the demand for more substitutes is extremely high, as well as calls for substitute bus drivers, custodians, and other support staff.
A substitute teacher, instructional professionals to support educational excellence and student achievement is critical, but that can't happen without the additional support of the other positions that are required for a school district to operate successfully.
We also spoke to Matt Kaiser. He's the Director of Human Resources for Washington Township Schools. He says there have been days this year when they were strapped for teachers, and without enough substitutes, they had to pull administrators out of their offices and into the classroom. So even schools that are operating fully virtual right now, they still need those substitutes and those assistants that are going to help things run smoothly. So if you are interested in subbing as far as a teacher or bus driver or custodian or anything like that, you can head over to those schools' websites right now, see those job openings, or you can go to mykellyjobs.com to see opportunities in those 30 school districts that they work with right now. We've got all that linked for you right now on the WRTV News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
All right, thank you, Kelsey. Well, as kids are heading off to the bus stop, if you're not in e-learning, you got temperatures down to 25 degrees right now in Bloomington. That's one of the coldest spots, not too far behind, though. Columbus at 28. It's 30 in Indy, and actually, we see those temperatures a little bit warmer as we travel to the north. 33 for you in the Lafayette area. Our temperatures today will get into the middle 30s here as we get to mid-morning and climb to 43 for the lunch hour. That combined with some sunshine should feel pretty good. The sun makes a lot of difference this time of year. A sunny 43 feels a whole lot better than a cloudy 43, and we'll continue to make it into the middle and even upper 40s later this afternoon. That gets you to 47 today in Frankfort, Anderson at 46, Kokomo at 45 degrees, and we'll find those temperatures a little closer to 50 this afternoon in the Shelbyville area, 47 in Crawfordsville. Connorsville also at 47, and numbers right about 50 degrees today in Columbus and Seymour. Upper 40s in Sullivan, average high 43 degrees. So we're doing pretty good here in the early part of December. That's before a cold front comes through later today. As we go through the daylight hours of our Friday, we are going to see a lot of sunshine here. But I think as we go into this evening, you see this narrow band of cloud cover that moves through. That's actually associated with a cold front. We're not going to see any precipitation with it because our air is just too dry, and all the moisture is really taken down across portions of Tennessee and Kentucky where they've got a storm system they are dealing with. But for us, it will bring kind of a reinforcing shot of some cooler air for the weekend. Saturday, 42 will be the high, so we'll drop by about 5 degrees or so. Still quite a bit of sunshine across the area, and as we go into our Sunday, those temperatures will struggle to hit the 40-degree mark, so it will be even a little bit cooler there, as I think we'll have a few more clouds around for the second half of the weekend. Saturday, though, big day for the WRTV Toy Drive. We will be at area Simon Malls. Lauren, Nicole, and I will all be out there, and it gets started Saturday morning at 10 a.m. 34 degrees there. We will have some sunshine as we go through the day. Temperature 38 at noon, and we'll get into the lower 40s for that afternoon high. Check the 7-day planning forecast now, and there's that cool down into the upcoming weekend. We've got temperatures that start to rebound, though, next week, and that will feel pretty good as well with some sunshine. 44 on Tuesday. We continue the climb into the upper 40s on Wednesday at about 50 degrees as we get toward the end of next week. And again, that is a very quiet, calm, and a nice stretch of weather coming our way, Lauren.
All right, looking forward to that, Kyle. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at your roads right now. I-70 at Harding Street. This is west of the downtown area. You can see traffic here is moving along just fine. It's been pretty smooth and pretty quiet this morning for your Friday commute. Of course, we'll continue to monitor things and keep you updated. Nicole?
President Trump is in his final weeks of his time in office, but this week he gave the nation's highest civilian honor to a man very familiar to Hoosiers. The president presented the Presidential Medal of Freedom to former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz. He called Holtz one of the greatest coaches in American history. His 34-year career includes the 1988 national title with the Irish. Holtz is also a political ally of the president and openly supported him during the campaign.
Well, you may remember she sang the national anthem for the Indy 500 a few years ago. Coming up today on Good Morning America, Bebe Rexha is back with a preview of her brand new song.
Plus, the trees are trimmed at the White House, and one of them has a bit of a Hoosier flair. We'll show it to you straight ahead in Good News Friday.
Welcome back. Nicole, it is the end of a long work week, and we always like to head into the weekend with a little bit of positivity.
Yeah, so this morning, Indiana is being represented in this year's National Tree Display. Take a look. Students from Brown County High School were chosen to create ornaments representing Indiana as part of the display. The school submitted these 16 designs. One creation is on a tree inside the White House. The others adorn the Indiana tree, one of 56 trees on display in President's Park. The school was chosen to represent Indiana because of Brown County's rich arts heritage. Very cool.
And those look great. Way to go to all the students down there in Brown County. Well, inmates at a California prison are helping a prep school student stay in school. Palma School and Soledad State Prison teamed up for a reading group, bringing inmates and students together to learn. Cy Green's parents needed costly medical attention, making it difficult to pay the school's $1,200 monthly tuition. That's when the Brothers in Blue jumped in. The inmates raised $30,000 from within the prison walls to create a scholarship for Green. The money will allow Green to finish out the school year and help him begin college in San Francisco.
That's a great story there.
Yeah.
Good News Friday. Well, move over. Superman 2020 is bringing new superheroes, and instead of capes, they are wearing scrubs. Marvel Comics has teamed up with Allegheny Health Network in Pennsylvania to create a new comic book that celebrates real-life healthcare heroes. It's called the True Nurse Stories comic book. It focuses on the stories of actual nurses and everything they've done to keep us safe during the pandemic. What a great idea.
bride Sarah walked down the aisle at where? Lucas Oil Stadium, which is unique enough, but it was who was waiting for at the end of the aisle, making these nuptials a real touchdown. Of course, her husband Will was there, along with Blue, masked up and everything in the suit. I love that. Blue is doing more than just cheering on the happy couple. He was actually marrying them. Blue says that he's ordained. Congratulations to the happy couple. Wow. You know, it's been a hard time, as you know, Nicole, planning a wedding in this pandemic, but it looks like here, you know,
this will be one that I never
space.
will forget. Of course. I saw this during the broadcast and I was like, that's interesting. A wedding at the Colts game.
Yeah, there you go.
Very
Pretty
cool.
creative.
Quite the venue, and I didn't know that Blue could talk.
I know. Was that his voice?
I don't think he talked.
So that would have made things a little more challenging, I think, if he hadn't.
Yeah, not being able to actually marry them,
Right.
but maybe just do some hand gestures. You.
Do a
this,
dance.
They knew what he meant.
Do
Yeah.
this thing. that
Yeah.
kind of thing. All right. Well, let's check out our forecast here for you today, and we'll be dancing and walking on some sunshine out there. Temperatures that'll make their way from around 30 degrees this morning. We'll get into the mid-40s later today, and as we go through the next few days, we're actually going to see those temperatures get a little bit cooler. Nothing like an Arctic outbreak or anything like that, but we'll be closer to 40 for that afternoon high Sunday and Monday. It all comes with dry weather. Not expecting a drop of rain the next 7 days.
All right, Kyle, sounds good. We're back right here in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with everything you need to know. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.